And what happened next seems to confirm that Wallace had a much darker side. Buoyed with his success at Stirling, Wallace swept into northern England. It was time for the Scots to vent their fury. The English chronicles are full of stories of Wallace's savagery. He put monasteries to the torch and laughed as monks were drowned in front of him. He slaughtered women and burnt schools with the school children inside. Rape, torture and atrocity marked his progress through the borders. He shocked an age hardened to brutality. The stories evoke contemporary parallels.
The English accused Wallace quite explicitly of effectively ethnic cleansing, that his intention was to get rid of everyone that spoke English from the north of England.
Even the Scottish chronicles realised there was a problem. They said he tried to prevent the excesses of his men, defending priests at the altar. On the other hand, they made no bones about his hatred of all the English. So was Wallace a national hero or a war criminal? The National Wallace Monument is the great Victorian expression of his legendary status. It dominates the landscape of Wallace's great triumph at Stirling. Braveheart fans and Scots from all over the world, including the South Florida branch of the Stuart clan, come to pay homage. But even here there's a grim recognition that there was little room for compromise in medieval warfare.
And the said Provenance executioners would then put this through the back or the front of the head. And that is your cranial spike.
If you knew Wallace as a person, he probably wasn't the sort of guy you would like to get on the wrong side of. He was probably terrifying. There was probably an awful lot of people in Scotland that were either feared him or hated him at the time. We see him as a national hero and we see him differently. But Wallace's one major inherent strength was he killed Englishmen wherever and whenever he found them. That was his job and that's what he did.
Not to be confused with your dispatching dagger, which has two sharp edges, one to the left and one to the right.
Essentially, Wallace was a man of his day.
Putting the mortally wounded out of their misery by impinging...
There's no doubt that he was a very bloody, violent man, living in a violent age. And he stood no nonsense at all from enemies and butchered them as soon as look at them. But at the same time, here's a man that was a leader. He was an underdog, a second son of an unimportant knight, and yet he had something in him which people responded to. And he led them, he had a vision, he was true to his king, he was fighting for John Balliol, he had loyalty, he had a sense of purpose, a sense of achievement, he had a brain that could think of strategy. No, I think there are many good aspects of Wallace's personality and character which you can focus on, but we try to sort of say that those days are gone now when we want to slaughter the English.